I've started to check out Arknights recently, and, well, the response has frankly been overwhelming. I've been loving the character designs and loving the music, and the community engagement has been really nice. But I've had a lot of questions about the world, about the story, about the characters, honestly about everything in general. Some of you have suggested that I take the time to check out an Arknights lore video that may be helpful in my overall understanding of the world before I proceed any further. So, for this video, I'm going to be checking out the Newbie's Guide to Arknights to just kind of get more of an understanding of the world and see if this really is a game that I'd want to try my hand at. So, let's get right into it.
Welcome to Terrastorian, the channel we explain Arknights lore.
Nice.
I am Akka, and in this video, I will provide a simple breakdown of the lore of Arknights for both beginner and casual players. The lore you'll discuss in this video will be split into several sections, such as terminology, the nations, the various races, and the threats that this world and its inhabitants
Perfect.
face.
Well, then this video should help
there are
describe
some spoilers
everything.
ahead. If you prefer to read and play the game without spoilers, then stop.
Ooh, spoilers. Now this is a big thing, and I probably will be pausing this a little bit just to get my thoughts across, just because I've heard this is a very dense video. When it comes to spoilers, I feel that there is a difference between spoiled in a manner of just being coherently told what's happening and spoiled by getting an understanding of things that could happen or an understanding. Personally, I feel like that doesn't really affect my experience with a game. While mostly I do play for story, you know, it is a game, other aspects of it matter to me as well. I don't know, spoilers to me just don't seem too drastic. I feel that you can understand or know what is going to happen, but not necessarily know how it's going to happen or how the story will weave it together. So I feel like small spoilers, at least for me personally, won't be that big of a deal. So I'm going to say, at least for me, I'm going to risk it and we're going to continue.
If not, then let's get started. First, let's go over a few terms which are important to the basic understanding of the world of Arknights.
Yes, please.
Originium is one of the most important words to keep in mind.
Okay.
This crystal is very important to the people of Terra, as it's a power source for technology and powers. However, it's a double-edged sword, as people can get infected with 𝙉𝙀𝙒, a deadly disease.
Okay, and we were talking about this in my comments when I asked about things.
As the magic.
And people basically said it was fancy rock cancer.
Allowing users to cast and manipulate different powers. Some races and individuals may have unique originium arts unique to them.
Okay.
The word infected is a term or labeling someone with 𝙉𝙀𝙒. People who are infected with 𝙉𝙀𝙒 are treated poorly, often as second-class citizens or worse.
So they're discriminated against.
And races treat the infected differently, however. 𝙉𝙀𝙒 is a deadly illness on Terra that comes from active originium via inhaling it, getting it into your blood, wounds, and cuts.
Ooh, so it's
slowly
very easy to
crystallizes the
get.
individual over time until, well, they can no longer breathe or move. Eventually, the individual will die, crumble away, and even combust or explode, spreading the originium dust crystals around the area of the person's death.
Oh, so it's like
If other people in
contagious.
the
They
area
can
are
spread it to other
affected by
people upon
these,
their death.
They will most likely become infected, unless they are wearing suitable safety wear. Catastrophes are powerful natural disasters, from earthquakes to storms to blizzards and even to meteor storms. Catastrophes are not only deadly disasters, but it also carries and spreads originium around the world, making more and more dangerous zones to live in, and more originium around the world. To avoid catastrophes, people have made a vast majority of mobile cities, which are able to move away. Catastrophe messages are people with skills to calculate and analyze when a catastrophe is coming. And
Girl
get
in the
that
middle, I like her
information
design.
to cities so they're able to move away in time. nomadic cities or mobile cities.
So this is another thing that was mentioned, how they move.
Over giant vehicles, which allows them to move their position on land. They are built to move away from catastrophes. This also functions and allows for easier access with trade with other nations and cities.
Okay, so this was obviously, I'm learning a lot of things now, that getting a better understanding of what people are already mentioning in the comments, but I just kind of wanted, I guess, to make a joke off of this. That's such a cool concept that they're mobile cities and they can move. They just initially say, oh yeah, and it really helps with trade and stuff. It's like, imagine you have a product in this city and you're like, I'm gonna sell it to this person in this city. So we gotta wait till the two cities, they're gonna come next to each other and then we'll begin our trade. That's such a unique concept. And then the fact that they're doing this, the reason this was done was to avoid these massive catastrophes that are happening in the world, because those massive catastrophes bring the special rock cancer, basically. It's such an interesting concept, but that also brings to mind, which maybe they'll share it in the video, but are there existing cities on the regular part of the land that aren't mobile cities, that there are still people trying to live there? Or like, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. Kind of makes me wonder if like the people who got infected, they're outcast to like cities that aren't mobile, and the people who aren't infected and want to perceive themselves as higher up live in these glorious mobile cities. I don't know. It's just the things that are going through my brain as a possibility.
The world of Arknights is set on Terra, a planet with similar environments from dry and arid deserts to lush rainforests, wondrous plains, and to harsh, frozen tundra. In so many ways, this planet is like our Earth, yet so different.
I was told in the comments they took inspiration from Earth, so
haven't even been completely explored. Terra is also constantly changing under civilizations, natural disasters, and catastrophes. Let's start with the nations, beginning with Bolivar.
All right.
It is one of the western nations on Terra, located in the northern part. Despite its thriving economy and culture, Bolivar is currently
very pretty.
Instability.
Very colorful.
Between three major factions: the Sincas dynasty, the coalition government, and the true Bolivarians. It is also famous for the mobile city 𝙉𝙀𝙒, known for its neutrality, and the annual event known as the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 Warrior Championship. Colombia. Colombia is the youngest nation in Terra and
pretty big though.
Pot of different cultures and races. Originally a Victorian colony, it declared independence in 1019 and became a very powerful nation in terms of
looks like some cities in America.
Advancements. Siesta is a small independent city-state near the inland sea of Claricide. As one of Colombia's three city-states, the city is famous for its
in quotation marks
beaches and the annual Obsidian Festival.
It's
Terra's
that
most
penguin
famous music festival.
That penguin again.
Is a nation underground. Not much is known about this location. However, it's home to the Duran. To the south of Bolivar, we arrive at Sargon. This nation is a mixture of lush forests and jungles to hot, dry deserts.
Oh, they got
Sargon
it. They got all the mixture.
By two different leaders. One is the Lord Emir, and the Pasha or the Padishah, who is more acknowledged as the ruler.
Okay.
Important to note, the Pasha have some more power over the Lord Emir. Sargon does have a king in the central land. However, not much is known. Sargon also borders the Foan Hotlands to the south.
Okay.
Minos is one of the smaller nations, with a culture revolving on hero cult, mainly the 12
hero
cult. Minos was at one point colonized by Sargon.
Okay.
Between the years 917 and 1042, while they broke free, they've often been harassed and raided by Sargon forces from time to time. 𝙉𝙀𝙒 is a landlocked, secluded nation which is surrounded by a massive mountain range and protected by the goddess Fermat 𝙉𝙀𝙒. I hope I'm saying
she's
that
pretty.
right. Its neighboring nations
Love the
are
color
Colombia,
blue.
Victoria, 𝙤𝙒. Compared to its bordering nations, 𝙤𝙀𝙒 is still a developing country. Let's venture far north as we go to 𝙤𝙗, the furthest northern country on Terra, and probably one of the most dangerous, as there are freezing temperatures,
freezing cold,
blizzards, and something eldritch, hideous, lurking in those winds that come from beyond.
Okay.
The 𝙤𝙗𝑠.
𝙤𝙗𝑚
is home to the Efian race and lesser known ones that are collectively known as the 𝙤𝙗 Fjord that have a tribal culture.
They're kind of reminding me of like deer kind of antlers.
For these reasons, the 𝙤𝙗 Fjord are often strict with outsiders to their land.
I feel like they probably take heavy Nordic inspiration for them.
Known for its romanticism and use of steam-powered machinery.
Oh,
monarch,
so this is the steampunk city, basically. Steampunk country.
Succession crisis for the last 2 decades, as both races fight each other for the power. The Dukes of Victoria, on the other hand, have been looking for a chance to seize the throne.
Damn, dude on the right is dripped out.
One of the nations involved with the main story. The majority of 𝙤𝙗𝙒,
so they're important in the main story. Got it.
The Knights is covered by grassland and home to the knightly Kuranta for generations. Despite its chivalrous and heroic origins, however, 𝙤𝙗𝙒 has become a nation plagued with greed and corruption, using the title of knights and their tournaments to make money and power. Iberia is a coastal nation by the Southern Sea, formerly a powerful maritime empire. They once had the most powerful navy fleets. However, this strong nation was brought down by a devastating and mysterious disaster known as the Profound Silence, potentially created by worshippers and threats from the deepest depths of the sea.
Ooh,
Iberia since then has struggled to recover.
I remember seeing a trailer for this girl.
Nations. Following the Profound Silence, Iberia has established a religious order known as the Inquisition, which was previously known as the Church of Iberia. The church was reorganized by Saint Carmen to combat the threats from the sea.
Kind of giving me some heavy, like, Spain, Portugal vibes.
Homeland to the angelic, trigger-happy race, 𝙤𝙗. Laterano is a nation where the 𝙤𝙗 found a safe homeland away from their sibling race, the 𝙤𝙗s. Despite their long-lasting feud and dark past, the Laterano of today is very energetic, open-minded, and known for its dessert culture with the Pope as their leader. Laterano is famous for its religious beliefs, Laterism, and the Laterano Church that acts as the government, dealing with
the church dealing as the government.
Aside from the 𝙤𝙗,
makes you wonder.
It's also home to the Liberi population due to their diplomatic relationship with Iberia in the past. Lithuania's neighboring countries are Victoria, 𝙤𝙗, 𝙬𝙗, Syracuse, and Laterano.
Okay.
This country is
so it's a heavily, densely populated area.
Arts, arts-based technology, and musical arts.
Ooh, she's pretty.
Ruled by the greatest caster in history, the Witch King, who was later overthrown by the twin empresses. It is home to the Caprine race, which makes up the majority of the population. A nation south of Vian and Kasdel, known for its mining operations and industry,
Rimbilton.
Rimbilton has one of the 3 biggest orogenium veins running underneath it. Due to its constant mining operations, the residents of Rimbilton are very vulnerable to oropathy.
Okay, so maybe they're about to explain it. But this is another question that makes me wonder in my head. So oropathy is obviously the disease you get from the dust, from getting it spread. It's the magical rock cancer. And I know I'm parroting that from everyone in the comments who said it. Is it useful in other things? Like for things in the world, in the lore? Like, is it like a power source? Did I miss that? Am I just like dumb? Is it like a power source, or is it... Because why would they want to mine it? Or mine near it? I don't know. Or maybe it's just a side effect. Maybe I'm not paying attention and I need to pay attention more. I don't know.
and while they aren't highly discriminatory to the infected, Robiliton is known to see its people nothing more than laborers and workforce.
So they're just capitalism on steroids.
The land of the mafia and the fangs and howls of the prominent race, the Lupo and some Volpo. Syracuse has influence from other nations, such as the religious beliefs and legal systems from Laterano,
Okay.
technology from Colombia, the Funyun love for music, and the main cultural identity is the mafia tradition that comes from the ancient Syracuse.
The mafia.
And the 12 families that govern the nation.
Oh, okay.
The families themselves are under supervision from Signora Cecilia, which makes her the real head of state.
Oh.
The ancient land of the Sarkaz, Kazdel. This worn-torn nation is home to the native Terran race, the Sarkaz, which was built thousands of years ago by the first Sarkaz Lord of Fiends. The sad state of Kazdel is due to the nation being perpetual conflict, not only between the Sarkaz and the other nations, but also the infighting among themselves.
So they're a very
Kazdel
dangerous location to be.
Built numerous of times in the past. The true Kazdel today is where the Sarkaz can finally have a place called home. Before there were any concept of countries, the Sarkaz back then, known as the Tizak, considered Kazdel their world.
Okay.
Ursus, the largest nation on Terra.
The one that I kept thinking was very heavily Russian inspired.
Ursus is often known to be hostile, xenophobic to other nations, and known to be horribly cruel to the infected.
Lovely.
But that's a story for another day. Ursus was once ruled by the Hippogriff Libri, but when they failed,
yeah, look at those. That's very Russian inspired architecture.
Ursus
I love it.
Rebelled and took over, and renaming the nation to Ursus. Ursus is one of the nations that are dealing with the collapsal threat in the far north. Higashi is near the northeast of Yan. Higashi was in a long civil war between the northern and southern courts. However, when Ursus tried to invade, the two sides joined forces and pushed back the invading force back into Ursus.
Oh,
where
okay.
it eventually led to volatile peace between and within Higashi's two sides. While north of Higashi is still isolated from outside nations, the south is far more welcoming. What we do know about Higashi is that it's famous for its founding mythology and love for video games and manga.
It's Japan.
One of the eastern nation, Yan, is ruled by an emperor.
And let me guess, this one is China.
Yan's famous history is that of emperors wanting to overthrow and kill gods. The gods being Fermats. Long ago, an emperor started a war against these gods, believing that their refusal to help the people of Yan, even when misfortune struck, means that they are unworthy to call themselves gods. And started a great hunt after allying himself with another Fermat known as Sui. They were eventually victorious and removed these threats, and even split Sui into living fragments of itself. Yan is another nation, along with Sami and Ursus.
That architecture, that reminds me a lot of scenes you can see in like modern China. The mixture of the new and the old.
But it is inhabited by the Aegir race. So supposedly their technology is extremely advanced, but they are facing a threat known as the Seaborn and potentially the Church of the Deep.
Okay, wait. Look at that weird, like, tentacle hand, like, ooh.
Cult that somewhat worships the Seaborn. There is one more nation to make you aware of. That is the dead nation of Ghoul. Potentially
dead
a
nation.
Technologically advanced nation of its time, Ghoul are famous for their artilleries. Ghoul were also one of the nations that allied themselves with Calcit to invade and destroy Kazdel 200 years ago. Unlike the other nations, Ghoul later asked help from Kazdel to some extent, and even hiring some Kazdelian royal court casters to help them against Lefanian arts.
Okay.
Ghoul was later destroyed in the Battle of the Four Emperors by its former allies and was completely wiped out. There are still some small
they were betrayed.
citizens of Ghoul around Terra, but ultimately the nation is completely gone.
But I figure they must be important
unknown but dangerous locations of
if they're
Terra.
being mentioned.
These are the Fernan Hotlands,
Ifni
Icefield,
Icefields,
and even further north beyond the Ifni Icefield lies an uncharted location, a potentially massive crater within the world of Terra.
Oh.
And that is where we come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful if you're a player or someone interested in the lore. If you
Wow,
wish to
look at
know
all the
more
people
about
involved
a
in
certain
this.
Nation, race, or anything within the Arknights universe, don't hesitate to suggest it in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
Well, thank you for making the video. Okay. Okay, so before you come after me, I did re-review some things just so I could understand it better, because I feel maybe not that I wasn't paying attention, but that it was just a lot of information thrown at me quite quickly, and I was just trying to absorb it. I realized earlier I said, oh, why were they mining that? Why is that so yes, they mentioned at the start of the video. I'm just trying to absorb everything. So there is the orginium, which is not only the power source, but is also a potential source of erypathy, which is a disease that you can contract, which will cause your body to slowly crystal over, basically, until you can't breathe, can't move, you cease to exist. And when you cease to exist, it then spreads that erypathy through the dust to potentially anyone who's nearby. So, because of that, those people get deemed the infected, and they're discriminated against. They're pushed down into a lower tier, a lower class of citizens, you could call it. But they do still need to mine the rocks, because that's the power source that they use in this world. So I was just misunderstanding that, and now that I was able to re-understand that, re-review it, I'm getting a bit better of an understanding. And then, of course, it talked about all the countries that they had, all the different worlds, and I don't want to say worlds, that's the wrong word usage, but all the different countries, their different viewpoints that they all have, and the struggles and the rivalries that they have. It is very interesting to see how a lot of them are very obviously inspired by real-life locations, real-life cultures, but it does seem as though they've given them a chance to be fleshed out in their own way. I definitely saw inspirations, obviously, from China, but also somewhat from Japan, Korea, England, or the UK. I saw some Spanish, some Portugal influence. I saw some American influence. So it truly does seem like they're getting influence from a lot of places and bringing it together into this world, but then wrapping it into a completely different packaging, completely unique story. So that is definitely something to look forward to. I feel as if I should have been taking notes, honestly. It's just a lot of information to process all at once, and I feel like in the future I still will be asking questions of concepts or terms that just whoosh right over my head. But this was a great introduction, part one, to understanding things. Now, I'm also not going to make you wait for part two, because I'm interested and I want to check out more. So we're going to check out part two of the newbie guide right now as well, just so I can get a better understanding of things before I, yes, do give the game a chance.
Welcome back to Terrastorian, part 2.
I'm glad to be back.
Where we shall be looking at the known races and threats on Terra in the Arknights universe. If you haven't seen part 1, then do check out our first video.
I just did.
Let's begin with the races, then threats.
Alright,
There are
inform
many
me.
beautiful, interesting, and marvelous races on Terra. However, it is important to make it clear that all races have differences. Some races are younger than others.
Okay.
Some enjoy conflicts and wars. Others want peace, or to make an impact on the world. But interestingly, a vast majority of races aren't even native to Terra.
Oh.
These races can be categorized as Ancients and Elders races, while other races with 𝙉𝙀𝙒 heritage are the native races. To make
Okay.
this easier, we shall break down the races in selections. Ancients, Elders, 𝙉𝙀𝙒, and others. An interesting question that normally comes up within Arknights lore is, can an individual have a child with someone from a different race?
Oh.
If so, what race would that child be? If two people from different races do have a child, they will either be one or the other race. A 50-50, let's say.
Ooh, okay.
An example would be, if a feline or a libri had a child, it would be either a feline or a libri. It can't be a mixture of the
So there
two.
is no
However,
race
they will
mixing.
take traits of their parents, either hair color, eye color, for example.
Okay. That makes me wonder real quick, to pause it. I wonder, obviously, that feels like it could be a potential big point of contention of things that could happen. Say you have a parent and one of them isn't really looked upon kindly because of their race, but they're living somewhere in one of these countries, and you as a child come out as their race in this country that doesn't look kindly upon. Like, I could see that being a potential pitfall, downfall for that. But also on the same token, same side of the coin, it makes me wonder then if there could be disagreements on what species, what race they want their child to end up being. I don't know. It's such an interesting way that works. There is no 50-50 split. There is no mixing per se. So there wouldn't be the bias of that. Like, well, you're not 100% us, so you can't be with us. But there's also the fact then that, well, if there's no mixing, there's no sharing, I guess you could call it. It's a very interesting thing to think about, because then that means that it's one or the other. Yes, they can inherit the hair color or the eye color or other features. But if it's one or the other, does that mean potentially, like, if one race is super overpowered per se, but then the other race isn't, and they have a child, and then that child is born of the race that isn't super overpowered, like, just throwing things out here, maybe potentially that could be just a point of grinding gears up against each other or conflict. I don't know, just spouting ideas that are just popping into my head. But that's very interesting how they mention that there isn't any mix. That's just how it is. It's a 50-50 chance.
Ancient races are the largest category for races.
Ancients.
They are also one of the two categories of races that aren't
So they're not native to this world.
Our first race we shall speak about is the 𝙉𝙀𝙒, based on aquatic creatures. This race comes from the nation of 𝙉𝙀𝙒.
Okay.
Others can be found on the mainland, such as Iberia or Higashi. The 𝙉𝙀𝙒, though, are somewhat strangers to the races of the land. 𝙉𝙀𝙒 also have been in a long conflict with the seaboard, a background threat that threatens to simulate the rest of the world.
Yeah,
it seems that the 𝙉𝙀𝙒
just a small threat.
The reasons for the seaborn to be pushed that way. A tale for another time.
Okay.
One outstanding thing about the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 is
I like her design.
Unbelievably arrogant and stuck up. Since the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 have
kind of
more
fits with that
advanced
design
technology compared to any of the races on the land, they tend to look down on them and see themselves as superior. Probably one of the most popular and populated race is the felines.
Okay.
This race is based on cats and can be mainly found in Victoria.
Really? I thought they were based on something else.
All over Terra. There are overall 39 operators in Arknights that are playable.
39 playable ones? Okay, nice.
Aslans are thought to be a separate race to felines. However, this is not true.
What are they, like a
Aslans
sub-race?
are felines that have self-appointed themselves to a more nobility race.
A sub-race that has
However,
decided
they
to
still do rule
anoint
Sargon
themselves.
with power, and eventually moving to Victoria and now fighting over the throne there against the Dracos.
Okay.
The Vori are based on wyverns or lesser dragons. This race can be found around in Sargon, where they potentially originated from and have ventured to Victoria. The Vori are known to have higher physical strength and endurance than most other races.
Okay.
𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙒, the race with deer-like traits. This race can mainly be found in Lefania, but also in the far north in Sami.
So I was right when I said that.
In Victoria
Deer.
and Yan. There is also a potential subrace of 𝙉𝙁𝙒 that are based with traits from giraffes.
Giraffes?
With
Okay.
fine traits and features, Kuranta are based on horses and even zebras.
Guys, it's 𝙉𝙀𝙒 and Arknights.
To be born with fast running and stamina.
Okay.
The vast majority of Kurantas are born in Casimir, the land of the knights. And Kurantas, currently the only known race to have two elder race siblings, which we will get on to later. Lupo, the wolves of Terra.
Okay.
This race
We
is
got
mainly
wolves.
found within 𝙉𝙀𝙒, but also can be found in other places such as 𝙉𝙀𝙒 and Victoria. One's
Okay.
family came from 𝙉𝙀𝙒 and ended up in Victoria. 𝙉𝙀𝙒, the second highest most operators in Arknights of 35 operators.
35 playable
𝙉𝙀𝙒
characters.
are based on
Okay.
birds.
They're
Most
birds.
can be found in
Okay.
Colombia, Iberia, and a few in Laterano. 𝙉𝙀𝙒, having similar traits to Lupo, and sometimes confused with Lupo, this race is actually based on foxes.
I like that first girl's design.
𝙉𝙀𝙒 can be found in 𝙉𝙀𝙒.
Okay, so they're
and
foxes,
Sunny.
not to be confused with
Archosaurus,
the
having
wolves.
traits from
Noted.
crocodilians. They also have similar pointy ears to others.
So they're kind of
like
similar to
sarcas and
lizards in a
Vipora.
sense.
From what we do know, majority of the males are anthropomorphic, while females
aren't.
This could be a case of sexual dimorphism.
No,
This
it's
race
done because
comes
it's a
from
gacha
𝙉𝙀𝙒.
game. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's
race
probably
based
a
on
there's probably a
frogs. This
good
race
reason.
Came from 𝙉𝙀𝙒. Across some parts of Terra, including
Then we have
Iberia,
frogs.
where they are treated roughly and used
Oh.
as experiments. We already know of one Anura, and that is Blue Poison, who is based on the blue poison dart frog. A
Oh,
race we
You know,
don't know much about.
for being poisonous and stuff, some of these tropical animals, this isn't even an Arknights things, just like actual real life tropical animals, for being poisonous and, you know, very deadly, they're some of the prettiest animals. Like, look at this image of this blue poison dart frog. Like, you can't tell me that that's not a pretty animal. Like, yes, it's deadly, it's poisonous, it'll kill you, but like, it's so pretty. Also, I may be a little biased, I love the color blue.
A race we don't know much about is the Manticore.
What are they,
And despite
praying
being based on a
mantises?
mythical creature,
Mythical creatures,
this
okay.
race can be found in small parts of 𝙉𝙀𝙒.
Okay.
And are rare, or they just want to keep
Rare.
away from other races.
Okay.
𝙉𝙀𝙒, one of the common races found in Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Treats from goats and sheep.
Goats and sheep?
Quartus,
Okay.
the rabbit and the hare race, mainly found and born in Rambilliton.
And that's the mining
𝙉𝙀
country.
is based on rhinos, with the classic rhino-like horn on their forehead. We know of one 𝙉𝙀, and that's
Kinda,
Bubbles.
so rhino inspiration kinda reminds me of like
Felines are the
Oni in a
cat people of
sense.
Terra, then the Pero are the dog people of Terra.
Okay.
This race can mainly be found in Bolivar.
So now, just to keep things straight, and I wonder if there's contention around this. So we have the wolf species, the fox species, and then the dog species, essentially. And they're three different species. Is there contention around the fact that they're different and people maybe easily mistake them together? Is there like, oh, I'm a fox, I'm better than the wolf or the dog people, basically? Like, I wonder, because they're such similar group of animals to take inspiration from, but then to divide them up. I don't know, just, I'm saying random things that pop into my mind, and that's what got me in trouble with the last Arknights videos, so.
People of Terra. This race can mainly be found in Bolivar. Petram are similar to Anura. There is
Okay.
currently one known character in the game, but
Only
Petram
one.
are based on tortoises and turtles.
So they're
Not
rare.
much is known about this race, other than there are small Petram settlements around Terra that house excellent or great craftsmen.
Okay.
However, we do know more about the next race,
And that
which
would
is the
be?
Pythia, based
Pythia.
on serpents,
Also
and
called
having
the
snake-like tails
Pythia.
and pointy
Okay.
ears to other races. Pythia, like snakes of the real world, have acute and delicate senses. Pythia are rare or at least uncommon race. Despite this, they can be found all over Terra. The Forte
Okay.
race have traits from bovines and camelids. The Forte are the main inhabitants of Minos. Pelosa, another race that only has one known character. This race is based on sloths.
On
And that's
sloths?
all we know about them.
And she's the
Anatoly
photographer?
are a race based
Kinda
on
funny.
otters, weasels, and raccoons. Rubber are based on hyenas. Nothing much is known
Ooh.
other than they come from 𝙉𝙀𝙒. Saphira are a race based on lizards and some amphibians like salamanders.
Okay.
The land of Ursus, like we mentioned, was named after this bear-like race called the Ursus. The Salac are based on rodents including rats, mice, and squirrels. Salacs can also be found all over Terra.
The dichotomy, go back. The dichotomy between these two cute little design girls and then the rat.
Can also be found all over Terra and known to have acute senses. Hailing from beyond Terra.
The elders.
Races, once mighty rulers who overshadowed their ancient brethren in power, held dominion over the nations.
But they don't anymore?
Their numbers have dwindled,
okay.
leaving only a handful of nations under their rule. Their forms bear resemblance to mythical creatures of our own world.
Oh.
Draco, with traits based on European dragons in mythology.
Ooh, so that's gonna be the race I'm gonna like the most in the game, isn't it?
But they also have increased vitality and strength. Dracos became rulers of Victoria and Tara, a piece of land that became a part of Victoria.
Okay.
Eventually, getting in conflict with the self-appointed Aslans over the throne. Over the years, the Dracos have become rarer and potentially extinct.
Oh no.
We only know of 3 Dracos in Arknights.
Oh no.
Her sister Eblana and Tallulah.
I do like all of their designs, though.
This elder race of Libri is based on hippogriffs in mythology, and once ruled over the nation that is now called Ursus. However, like we mentioned previously, this race failed to protect their land, and the Ursus rebelled. While they already are dethroned, they have kept their nobility status and known to have longer lifespans.
Interesting how they are dethroned, but...
Nine-tailed fox are found in Higashi. They are said to be
Nine-tailed fox
and have some sort of connection to the founding of the nation. Kukulkan, based on the Mayan-plumed serpent.
Oh, I love that cyan color scheme for that character.
Now, they practice
but that's a creepy smile.
Which reduce their lifespan greatly, but gain the collective memory of their ancestors. One thing about this race,
she looks a little insane, but okay.
As an elder Pythia or an elder Libri. Kylan, based on the Qilin, a mythical beast from China, is an elder race found in Yan. Not much is known about them. Leishi is the only known member of this race.
I like her design.
While Dracos are the dragons of the west, the Lungs are the dragons from the east.
Oh, so this is another species that I'm really gonna like in game.
Of Yan. The Emperor is a Lung, and the ruling family of Lungs are often known as the True Lung. 𝙉𝙀𝙒 is, in fact, the older twin brother of the Emperor of Yan.
Okay.
𝙉𝙀𝙒 Kurunta, one of the 2 Kurunta elder races. This elder race of Kurunta
interesting design for the head.
People's hearts of Terra.
Or was that like a helmet?
And led a conquest across Terra, from around the north of Terra to Sargon and then back to the north again, where they are hardly seen again. However, there are small clans around in the north potentially.
She's very pretty. That blazing red hair.
Are based on folklore called the Nightmare or the Mare, which is seen in Dutch, German, Norse, and English folklores and stories. The Nightmares are known to have a racial gift to use illusion arts. Despite this, they seem to have a sense and culture over honor and glory. Pegasus Kurunta is one of the races that stood up against their sibling race of the Nightmares and protected their homeland Casimir. Pegasus Kurunta are based on the mythological creature, the Pegasus. Pegasus Kurunta still hold strong respect and force within their land, but slowly their authority has dwindled over time after holding back the Nightmares.
So they lost a lot in the battles.
For its control over light and illumination art. Pegasus Kurunta also seem to share a same trait of light-colored hair, such as white, blonde, and gold.
Okay.
Other potential elder races we may have are an elder race of Rabah, the Tula family, another elder race of Kurunta, the Unicorn Kurunta.
Unicorns,
an
okay.
elder race of Pero, the Cerberus Pero.
I like her.
Tzizak are one of the native races of Terra. Eventually, they took the name the 𝙉𝙀 after losing their home in a war against the foreign races.
Okay.
However, there are many different 𝙉𝙀 subraces as well as sibling races, which we shall get into now.
Okay.
The normal 𝙉𝙀 are known as 𝙉𝙀.
Okay.
Unlike the ancient 𝙉𝙀 subraces, normal 𝙉𝙀 are often seen as mixed blood 𝙉𝙀 or not pure-blooded as they were back in ancient Terra. Banshee 𝙉𝙀 are unique, as they are a majority an all-female matriarchy subrace.
All
of
female.
𝙉𝙀.
Okay.
However, there are male Banshee 𝙉𝙀, but they are rare.
Okay, I was
We
about to
already
say,
know of one
because
male Banshee, and that is Logos.
because how would they continue? But yeah, okay.
Banshee 𝙉𝙀 have a manipulation of vocal and sound arts, and a connection with death, often seen as the guardians of the dead. Cyclops 𝙉𝙀 live in the northern nation on Terra, Sami. Here they live away from their violent relatives. Cyclopses moved to Sami after the Cyclops Lord of Fiends was murdered by other 𝙉𝙀. Cyclopses have the ability to see into the future or have visions to see what may come. It is said that these visions can be pretty accurate. Cyclopses are one of the two 𝙉𝙀 subraces that deal with the dangers of the Collapsals. Damacy isn't an entire subrace, but an ancient 𝙉𝙀 with the ability to shapeshift and multiply itself into more individuals.
That is
The other
very
𝙉𝙀 are
terrifying
said
and
to be
concerning.
one of the most
Okay.
Powerful 𝙉𝙀 subraces with the ability of strong fire arts. However, this subrace is said to be extinct. With few
said to
pieces
be
of Diablo
extinct.
shards left, one shard was fused with Ifrit, a Suvra, now merged with such a shard, giving her traits and abilities of the fiery
Oh,
ancient
okay.
subrace.
Well, that's kind of cool.
We recently found out about 𝙉𝙀 𝙉𝙀, and sometimes they're known as Heart Whipper or Mind 𝙉𝙀.
Ooh, I like her
𝙉𝙀
design.
𝙉𝙀 have a unique art, which is to do with hearts, mind, and emotions.
Mind control.
Similar to their vampire relatives, they have to control their hunger, but for emotions instead of blood. Unlike vampires, however, they do have more control or found other ways to get over this. A vast majority of 𝙉𝙀
Okay.
don't even live in Kastel. This is because 𝙉𝙀 are very sensitive to emotions, especially negative ones. The leader of the 𝙉𝙀 is known as the Archliar.
Archliar.
We don't know if they have an Archliar at this moment. We currently know of two 𝙉𝙀, Nymph and her sister working as Rhode Island's HR director, who is clouded in mystery.
So they work for us as HR. Wait. The characters from the races that can, from what I'm understanding, manipulate emotions, control emotions, need to absorb emotions to live better, are the people who are running Rhode Island's HR? That's a sick, twisted joke right there.
Gargoyles, said to be one of the most ancient of all 𝙉𝙀 subraces. This subrace of 𝙉𝙀 has control over soil, stone, and earth, often called the children of the soil and the stone.
Okay.
They have earth arts manipulation, and even said to have conversations or talks with the earth and the soil. Unlike the rest of the 𝙉𝙀 subraces, the Goliath 𝙉𝙀 aren't part of the royal Kasdel court, and are known if they have a leader or not. But majority of the 𝙉𝙀's enemies we do see are apparently Goliaths.
Okay.
Liches are the bookworms of the 𝙉𝙀, and very powerful bookworms at that.
Powerful
With the
bookworms.
ability to manipulate space and dimensions to a vast degree.
Yes, that's powerful.
Ermengarde, the cute lich that everyone loves, once said that she could transport the entirety of Lefania if she wanted to. Is that a bluff or not? We don't know. But, if true, an amazing feat. Not only do they have space control arts, but they are also completely immortal.
Oh.
Like their other fantasy counterparts, they store their souls or life in a phylactery. Revenants are a spirit soul-like race of 𝙉𝙀. This subrace isn't technically born, but more created, as the 𝙉𝙀 will put their body and soul in the soul furnaces of Kasdel. They can inhabit objects. Nazira are based on ghouls. This subrace of 𝙉𝙀 are one of the physically strongest ones on Terra. One of the reasons for their strength comes from their deep cultural aspects of cannibalism and eating their enemies.
Oh, well, that's
in return,
disturbing.
They get increased strength and power, as well as memories and abilities of those that they have ate.
Oh, well, that's just a cheat code.
Often let the weaker ones take a bite out of their body, so they basically gain power-ups. 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀 King happens to be one of the oldest characters in-game, is around 7,000 years old, potentially older, as he was around with the first 𝙉𝙀𝙒. He is often known as the War Incarnate, due to the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 becoming far more powerful in wars, due to eating the bodies and powering themselves up.
So, that's gotta be terrifying. Imagine you're fighting a war and not necessarily even just against them. Say you're fighting an enemy of some kind, and then these dudes show up, and you're starting to fight them, and they're destroying a couple of your forces, but you're pushing back against them, and then suddenly you see the enemies that you thought you had destroyed, or whatever, just start cannibalizing your fallen comrades and then gaining the powers of your fallen comrades and like their memories, because then they could torment you with the memories that they gained of your fallen comrades and then beat you with the skills, and they're just growing stronger and stronger and stronger. Ugh. Like, that's gotta be a terrifying force to try and go against.
In wars, due to eating the bodies and powering themselves up. Like the vampire myths of our world, vampire 𝙉𝙀𝙒 are bloodsuckers.
Okay.
They feed on blood as well as strong blood arts manipulation. Similar to the 𝙉𝙀𝙒, they have an ability to empower others with blood blessings. Vampire 𝙉𝙀𝙒 have a thirst for blood, which is a hunger they have to control, making them very fearful, even to other 𝙉𝙀𝙒s.
I can imagine.
Are a subrace of 𝙉𝙀𝙒s that are tall and have an exposed skull, thus they wear a mask. Fortunately, there are no longer any pure blood Wendigo left on Terra, with the last one being
well, that's a shame.
However, there are still Wendigo 𝙉𝙀𝙒s in the north of Ursus, led by the Wendigo King fighting the threat of the Collapsals. Just like the 𝙉𝙀𝙒, the Wendigo are one of the physically strongest and have cannibalism deep in their culture.
Yay.
We would have to see if there are more 𝙉𝙀𝙒 subraces in the future. Now, we move on to 𝙉𝙀𝙒's sibling races.
Sibling races, okay.
First being the Anasa. This race separated from the 𝙉𝙀𝙒s
I like her, very pretty.
and moved to Yan, distancing themselves from more wars and difficult relatives. While they kept some 𝙉𝙀𝙒's culture, overall their culture has changed. While
Understandable.
we still don't know much about them, they do live in the wilds of Yan in tribes. Oni, a group of 𝙉𝙀𝙒s that broke away from Kazdel.
There they are, okay.
The 𝙉𝙀𝙒's Lord of Fiends, Colum, was killed. They moved to where Higashi is now and became the Oni, resembling some parts of the 𝙉𝙀𝙒s such as horns, but much more muscular.
Okay.
Sancta.
You know, I find it funny how they say much more muscular and then the photo they show is of a girl with pretty skinny looking arms, but you know.
Oni, who diverged from the 𝙉𝙀𝙒's heritage, they were 𝙉𝙀𝙒s that accepted a forced evolution or change by an outside power known as the Law.
The Law.
Gaining light wings and a halo, which gives them 6 like sense. This race has been in a grudging conflict with their cousins, the 𝙉𝙀𝙒s, who saw the change nothing more as a traitorous move. Fallen Sancta are also a thing, which is a Sancta that has broken the rules of the law and starts to grow horns or regain horns.
Oh,
Now we move
okay.
on to races that we aren't sure where they fit in, or if they fit in at all. Beast Lords. These entities are talking
It's that
animals
dang
have been
penguin
around
again.
Terra for countless eras. Some of them show peculiar abilities such as immortality.
It's a fluffy
or
sheep with a crown.
teleportation.
Okay.
Suspiciously, most races in Terra have their own Beast Lord representative, but only a handful have ever been shown so far. Buromats. This is a race that you could describe as living gods or entities. They have unimaginable powers and abilities, get big as nations, they have an immunity to erypathy, even have their own space dimensional travel.
Okay then.
However, It is hinted at these beings aren't from Terra, but also unsure when they arrived on the world.
What is there, like a warp gate on this planet that's allowing all these species to come to this world?
Is a 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀, 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀, the protector of 𝙁𝙀𝙀, the life
very pretty.
Seen in episode 13, despite being dead, still has a conscience. It's noted that they can be killed, but they don't truly die.
I wonder if that's the kind of a terrifying concept. They can be killed. They don't have a body anymore, but their consciousness is still there. They're still living. Oh. Ooh, imagine that. Like, obviously I'm thinking of this from a human perspective, and these are, what, like eldritch, beyond human comprehension beings, but like, imagine if you as a person died, passed away, and obviously your body was no more, but your consciousness stayed here. Like a ghost in the area where you died, or in the world where you died, like, but you can't interact with it. Anyway.
Another 𝙁𝙁𝙒 we know is 𝙁𝙀.
𝙁𝙀. Ooh, her. I remember seeing her.
This 𝙁𝙁𝙒 was a rival to 𝙰𝙀. Operators like Ling, Dusk, and the siblings are all fragments of the 𝙁𝙁𝙒 known as 𝙁𝙀. I'm
glad that they just showed that image. So in the previous videos where I was checking out the trailers, these two girls showed up, and I was like, ooh, I really like their designs. I want both of them. Wow, I'm really liking the Horn characters. And then a lot of people in the comments were like, no. You don't like the Horned characters. You just like the 𝙁𝙀 sisters. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, there they are. They're apparently sisters, and there's one more. So like, okay.
Ling, Dusk, and the siblings are all fragments of the 𝙁𝙁𝙒 known as 𝙁𝙀.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Elf. Similar to other
we just got elves.
They are a humanoid, pointy-eared race. Despite that they may have a long-lived lives, they are very weak to originium and oripathy.
Well, that's a shame.
Unlike other races, they are very susceptible to oripathy. If an elf catches oripathy, they basically have a month to live. This makes elves very rare, but there are some found in 𝙰𝙀. It's indicated that they are descendants of a 𝙁𝙁𝙒.
That's kind of a shame.
𝙁𝙁𝙀. Like the dwarves of mythology and other fantasy, this small subterranean race lives in the underground nation of 𝙁𝙁𝙀. Despite their size, these little ones are excellent miners, crafters, geologists, and very heavy drinkers. 𝙁𝙁𝙀 are a fairly peaceful race, as they live in an underground utopia compared to the other races above.
Okay.
However, some brave or adventurous or even bored 𝙁𝙁𝙀 will adventure above ground.
Okay.
Last but not least, we are going to be talking about is you. Yes, you, the Doctor.
Oh, okay.
The Doctor belongs to a race known as the First Civilization, another non-native race that arrived on Terra more than 13,000 years ago. You could say that they used Terra as an experimental ground, while also planning to protect civilization from a certain threat.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this civilization may be responsible for the majority of the greatest threats on Terra.
It's humans, isn't it?
Faced a great threat from beyond, leaving you, the Doctor, the last known surviving person of its kind on Terra.
That's kind of sad.
It is unknown if there are more out there. Trevor Friston is one of the Doctor's race, prior to him becoming a preserver. We may know of one more, and that is Priestess. However, we don't know if this individual has good or bad intention.
Okay.
There are many hidden dangers and threats within and out of the super.
You know, this is very nice animation to be able to see like the world as a whole.
Even the stars. If not handled carefully, it might result in the end of Terra. Here in this section, we will discuss most prominent ones that we know of.
Yes, give it to me.
Seaborn. They are one of the growing threats in Terra. As their name suggests, they came from the deep ocean, plaguing the nations of Aegir underwater and Iberia.
Yeah, they look nice and creepy.
Their evolutionary rates are extremely fast, enabling them to adapt to all sorts of things and simulate everything around them. Their colonies are connected by a hive mind. A cult known as the Church of the Deep are supporting the spread of the Seaborn.
Oh.
Collapsals. They are best described as extra-dimensional entities originating from an unknown dimension.
I noticed too in the
They are
subtitles.
referred to as demons
Yeah.
by other Terrans and possess an ability to corrupt other beings. Collapsals originated from two different places: a mystery gate in the Infinite Ice Fields and the Foreign Hotlands.
So, wait. So it earlier said that there were a bunch of races, obviously, in this world, on Terra, in the Arknights world, that are not native to this world, not native to this planet. And now you're mentioning, oh, there's also these demons that are coming from this. We speculate it's from this gate. I wonder if that was the gate, or if there were potentially in the past more of these gates, and that's how all these other species got into the world. That could just be a theory based on my very rudimentary understanding now of the world. But I don't know, just putting two and two together, I like to craft theories of what potentially could be the cause in my head, especially when it comes to games that have intense, very in-depth lore like this. But let's continue.
Mystery Gate in the Infinite Ice Fields and the Foreign Hotlands. Simply knowing their name is hazardous, hence why any form of knowledge about them is heavily suppressed.
Just
by the
knowing their
Terran
name is hazardous.
The Observer, who
Okay.
currently know nothing about this godlike being. It is shrouded in mystery, and terror is currently hidden from its sight. For now.
For now.
We do know it was a reason that the first civilization has gone from Terra, and that they had to build a fake sky to hide Terra from its sight.
Oh.
Another thing we do know is that it wants Terra, and it's coming whenever the races of Terra and you like it or not. And that is where we come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful if you're a player or someone interested in the lore. If you wish to know more about a certain nation, race, or anything within the Arknights universe, don't hesitate to suggest it in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
Well, nice. I'm glad that they're pushing out. These are such high quality videos for explaining just the lore and how to understand things. Lovely. Okay, so those were two very high quality videos. Loved it. The channel is going to be linked in the description. Terrastorian, thank you so much for suggesting them to me so I could just better understand things. It seems like this channel is very much a group effort from a bunch of Arknights creators. So it's nice to be able to get a better understanding of the world just through those videos, understanding of the races and some of the lore, just to understand things. I am going to be giving Arknights a chance. As I mentioned in the last video where I was checking out the character trailers, I have already downloaded the game on my PC. I am going to be using the Google Play Games. It's basically an emulator, so that's what I'm using it. I have heard rumors that supposedly when Enfield launches, that's going to have a PC client, and the original Arknights game may potentially have a PC client tie-in, or it may be the same launcher for both games. But as of right now, there isn't one, so I am just using Google Play Games. So hopefully that won't give me any issues. I will be giving the game a chance. Now, whether I do that live or in just a pre-recorded video is up to whatever you, the viewer, decide. I'll probably throw up a poll on my YouTube posts tab eventually. You know, I've been getting more into gaming recently, and just Arknights is just one of those games that I've looked at and I feel I need to give a chance. But for now, if you liked me checking this out and you want me to check out more, or there's other things you think I should check out, either to get a better understanding of Arknights or a better understanding of other gacha games, let me know in the comments, and a like and a subscription would be greatly appreciated. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.